Hello everyone, how's it going? Woo, party time! So, might take a few of you guys some time to step into the Facebook Live today. Today we are talking about one of my most favorite passionate subjects, which is fermented foods. And I'm actually at a local health food store near my house right now. They're having this little sort of festival party where there's a barbecue outside, a vegan barbecue of course, and they're promoting different products. And I ran into Pedro here,
Hello.
Who's awesome because him and his wife have started this amazing company producing these amazing fermented foods, and I just actually sampled all of them and they taste delicious. So as we know, the importance of the gut microbiome and gut bacteria cannot be
Underestimated.
Underestimated.
Sure.
Has to be totally, worshipped. The value of gut bacteria and its influence on our intestinal health, obviously, on our immune system health, our mental emotional health, our, state of anxiety, depression. Gut bacteria resides in our gut, but it also affects and influences our whole entire system. So Pedro here is going to explain to us a bit about his company and his research and findings, very, very interesting findings with gut bacteria.
Yes, well, I started the company a year and a half ago with my wife. I've actually been doing fermentation for the past 15 years.
Wow.
I started doing it in the US. An old Polish guy taught me, and I just love the flavors. And then after that, it was the health benefits that I got really into. So like you were saying, it's like my gut in the past was just like so in a bad shape that when I started eating fermented foods, I just saw the difference. So now I eat them every day. And that's why I kind of decided to start the company, because I couldn't find a really good alternative here in Quebec. In the US, there's a lot of companies. So I was like, why not? Let's just go into it. So we make about 25 different kinds of product.
Wow.
We sell only 8 in stores, like the more standardized. But in farmers markets, we sell, like any kind of vegetable, green beans, pickles, beet kvass, which is very popular in the U.S. and starting slowly to be in Quebec.
Yes, and it's a hard one to find.
It is.
The beet kvass, very hard to find in the health food stores. So explain to us exactly, there are many different types of fermented foods. Explain to us what beet kvass is.
Beet kvass is pretty much like a brine made out of beets. So we cut the beets, we make a brine, which is salt and water. We let them ferment for 10 days, and after that we strain the beets, or we used to strain the beets, and then just get the liquid and bottle it. What I found out is I work with a microbiologist, so he was telling me, hey, why don't you use the beets? Maybe we can find something that is living in there. So we did, and we looked at it in the microscope, and we saw that there were 3 times as much bacteria in the fermented beets than in the actual brine or liquid that came out of it. So that's what we discovered, and I was really amazed because I was composting all my beets in the past. So now what we do, we juice them and then we bottle them and we sell them as a gut shot.
Okay, so you have the beet kvass liquid separately,
Yep.
and then you sell the beets separately.
Yeah, I mean, the beet kvass is more like a drink, more like a kombucha, so you can drink 1 bottle a day.
Okay.
No worries. And then the gut shot, which is the fermented beet juice, we actually is more for like medicinal, like just a little bit of quantity at a time, because it has 3 times as many bacteria.
Wow.
And how we know it, because we look at it in the microscope, and with the microbiologists, we determined that there were like 3 times as many living bacteria there. What kind of lactobacilli, we don't know yet. It's really hard to detect because there's so many varieties.
Huh.
It takes, like a DNA sample, and it's like about $10,000 just to get the DNA from that. So far we're just doing lactobacilli. Just identify them and see, that there's living there.
So, in general, what's the difference, in your opinion, between taking a probiotic capsule versus taking fermented foods?
Right. Probiotic capsule is pretty much, let's just say, engineered to develop a specific type of lactic acid bacteria that they already identified that was good for you. What's different about our products, I think, is that there's so many varieties of lactobacilli. It could be up to 50, 60 times of lactobacilli, but not only that, there could be also acetic acid, lactic acid, all these different components that could be good for digestion too.
Okay, so they're naturally occurring. So when you have a fermented food, there's naturally occurring
Yep.
variety of strains.
Yep.
as opposed to like a manufactured probiotic capsule?
Right. I mean, it depends on the terroir. You know, it depends where the vegetable comes.
Yes.
There could be a specific type of bacteria developing there. It could be in my company. There's a specific type of lactic bacteria that only lives there.
Wow.
Or that only lives in me. And because I manipulate the product, you know, there could be that lactic acid bacteria living in all my products.
Huh.
So it, from one company to another, from one producer to another, there could be an immense difference on lactic acid bacteria or other kind of bacteria.
Uh-huh.
Because like you say, you know, we are all very different. We all have our microbiomes.
Yes.
We get it from the environment. We get it from everything we eat that we are.
Yes.
So, I mean, my products are unique.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that engineered lactobacilli are very different from naturally occurring lactobacilli.
Okay. Amazing. So basically what we have here, it's called tout cru, which means in French, all raw.
All raw, yeah.
Okay. So we have sauerkraut with seaweed. We have sauerkraut with juniper berries. Kimchi, which is really tasty, actually a little bit spicy over here. So an organic kimchi. Sauerkraut with dill and lemon. And organic carrots with lemon and ginger. And Napa kimchi. So all of the fermentation occurs with just salt and water, right? There's no vinegar added to the process?
No vinegars. Actually, most of the products is just the vegetable and salt.
Uh-huh.
Few of them are with brine, which is salt and water.
Okay.
Because we try to get as many flavors out of the vegetables as possible.
Cool.
When you add water, you dilute a little bit of the flavor.
Okay.
So all the kimchis, all the carrots, everything that I sell right now here has no water added.
So the vegetables just release the natural juices when the salt, when they're mixed with the salt.
Right. When it's the whole vegetable, you need to make a brine because the salt cannot penetrate the cellular structure of the vegetable, so it cannot pull out the liquid.
Okay.
So we actually do workshops and we teach people how to ferment their own vegetables.
Okay.
But anyways, when you cut the vegetable, you break the molecular structure so the salt can go in there and it can extract the water. It's called osmosis. But with whole vegetables, like let's say pickles, a cucumber, whole carrots, whole radishes, you need to make a brine. Because it will take long time for the salt to go inside and take out the water. Okay. So that you can have an anaerobic environment. You need an anaerobic environment in order for the lactobacilli to develop.
Okay,
that's the
cool.
secret. Yeah.
Okay. So you have to cut your vegetables first for the salt to penetrate.
Yep, exactly.
Good stuff. So we actually have a comment here from Victoria. Hi, Victoria. I love their products. Amazing flavors. Tout cru. You have a fan on here. Awesome.
Excellent.
Beautiful. So guys, if you were to take sauerkraut juice every day, what is the recommended dose that you would say?
One of my friends, which is a naturopath also, she said that probably 2 to 3 ounces a day is good.
Okay.
Why? Not because you can take too many lactobacilli, but because of the salt intake. All the products that we use have salt.
Yes.
So 3 tablespoons is about to 15% of your daily intake.
3 shots, you mean 3 ounces?
3 ounces.
3 ounces, yeah.
But what happens is that I eat a lot of salt, but when I eat fermented stuff, fermented vegetables, I decrease my amount of salt that I put in my food.
I see. Okay.
Because it actually not only adds salt, it adds a lot of flavor. And salt, what it does, it actually accentuates flavors.
Yes.
So when you eat fermented foods, you actually have like this extra bomb of flavors that are already there.
Wow.
So you have to you technically eat less salt without even thinking about it.
Right. You kind of crave salt less.
Right.
And what kind of salt are you using in your fermentation?
We use gray sea salt.
Amazing.
Very fine from Maison Orphée because that's the only one that I found it works for with fermentation.
Beautiful.
But we actually are looking for a Canadian salt, which is really hard to find. There's one in Victoria Island, Vancouver, but it's still like a little bit expensive. But it's a good one.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's a mineral-rich salt.
Right, exactly.
Okay, awesome. And then I see all of the vegetables you start off with are organic, right?
Everything that we use is organic and it's local.
Okay.
All the vegetables are grown in Quebec.
Yes.
From small farms. I can tell you exactly from where everything came from. The seaweed comes from Gaspésie.
Wow.
The only thing that is not from here is the salt, the spices, and the ginger.
Okay.
Everything else is from here.
Very nice. So what else do we want to talk about? Have you had testimonials from people that have had severe digestive problems starting to take your product as sort of a supplement, like a...
I do get a lot of people saying, that thanks to the fermentation, they actually are able to eat, like pasta again, wheat,
Wow.
because they thought it was an allergy, but actually what happens is that probably their microbiome was all like screwed up.
Wow.
So that's why it was causing a bad reaction in their bodies.
Amazing. So guys, did you hear that? People who had previously had a gluten intolerance or a dairy intolerance, after starting to introduce fermented foods into their diet and all the range of lactobacillus and lactic acid bacteria, were able to actually tolerate gluten after and tolerate things that they were previously allergic to or intolerant to. How cool is that? So we see the importance of the gut microbiome on our whole system, on our whole health. So, introduce fermented foods into your diet. It's so easy and they're so tasty. It's just like use them as a side dish, as a condiment to the side of your food.
We actually have a client in St. Anne's, Jessica Cole. She specializes in introducing babies 6 months and older to whole foods.
Yeah.
But she wanted to try with the fermented food, so she actually did a blog about it, and she found that it was really cool. Like babies, when you introduce them to them,
Wow.
you start introducing them to this huge variety of bacteria.
Yeah.
So she found out she's still doing the study, but like the microbiome of the babies actually, it's more rich than without it.
So as soon as the baby starts introducing solid food, you would
Right.
introduce fermented
Right.
foods.
Exactly.
Yeah, why don't we think of that? Why don't we ever think of that? I guess we don't think of it because it's such a sour, pungent flavor.
Right.
We just normally give like very bland purees.
Right, but in cultures like Eastern Europe, they introduce babies to lactofermentation right away.
Wow.
Being with pickles or sauerkraut. So I have a lot of clients in a couple markets
Yeah.
where their kids, they eat a lot of our products and they love it because they start eating them.
Amazing. I have a 7-month-old. I'm going to start giving him fermented foods. I didn't even think about
Sure,
that.
yeah.
I give him like probiotics, but why not give him the actual food? That's amazing. I love that idea. Okay, guys, so this is it. Tout cru. Introduce fermented foods into your diet. If you're in Montreal, if you're in Quebec, pick some of this stuff up. It's awesome. It's really like homemade, you know who the producers are, you know that he knows where it's grown and where his ingredients come from. It's all organic. It looks awesome.
If they want to know where we sell the products, they can go to the website.
Okay.
And we have all the stores that we sell and all the markets, farmers markets that we do.
Awesome. So what's your website?
It's www.toutcrufermentation.com.
Okay. So TOUTCRU fermentation.com. Amazing. Beautiful. Well, thank you, Pedro. That was awesome. Thanks for the little snippet here. Take care, guys.